court orders issued. Years have passed, and yet one man remains in detention. Nnamdi Kanu, Nigeria's most controversial detainee. And now, to some, he is a voice of justice. To others, a threat to national security. So why is his case still unresolved? Or let's say, why hasn't the government let go or moved on yet? Now, is this about the law? Is it about power or fear of what comes next? Today on LadeyNews, we break down why Nnamdi Kanu's detention won't go away and why the whole world is still watching Nigeria. Stay with us to bring you more. Hello and welcome to LadeyNews. Today we're taking a closer look at one of Nigerians' most sensitive and unresolved issue: detention of Nnamdi Kanu. For years now, his name has remained in the headlines, court rulings, protests, political debates, and international attention. Yet, nothing seems to change. Many Nigerians are asking the same question: why is this case in particular still dragging on? And why would it just go away? Let's break it down calmly, clearly, facts by fact. We discuss this topic in 7 segments. We begin from this first segment. Who is Nnamdi Kanu? You might have heard the name before. You might have read about it in the papers. You might have come across it in the news before. Who exactly is Mazi Nnamdi Kanu? Nnamdi Kanu is best known as the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, also called IPOB. To his supporters, he's a man seeking or speaking up against injustice, marginalization, and neglect in Nigeria's southeast. To the federal government, he is a security risk whose messages could threaten national unity. IPOB has strong support, both within Nigeria and amongst Nigerians abroad. At the same time, the group has been officially labeled a terrorist organization by Nigeria's government. This sharp divide, heroes to some, threat, and to some others, is one of the major reasons of his detention and why it remains so controversial. Let's look at the second segment now. How did we get here? You might have pondered the Nnamdi Kanu's case. How did we get to this point in particular? Kanu's legal problems didn't just start today. He was first arrested in 2015 and charged with offenses including treasonable felony. And then down to 2017, he was granted bail. Not long after, he left Nigeria following military operations in the southeast. Let's fast forward to 2021. The government announced that Nnamdi Kanu has been rearrested and brought back to a dear nation, Nigeria. The way this happened immediately raised legal questions and sparked controversy, both locally and internationally. Since then, several court decisions have fueled arguments that his continued detention is unlawful. His legal team insists court orders should be respected. The government, however, says national security concerns comes first as a nation. To segment 3 now, we look at law versus power. The law, looking at the constitution of the country, and power, the government in the country. This is where things get complicated actually. On one side, we have people saying, if the courts have ruled, the government must obey. On the other hand, or on the other side, the government urges that the charges charged against Kanu are too serious and that releasing him could worsen insecurity in the nation or in our nation. This has turned what should be a legal process into a political battle. It's no longer about the courtroom, it's about power, it's about authority, and it's about control. And so far, neither side has backed down. And down to segment 4 now. Kanu's case isn't stayed within Nigerian borders alone. Across Europe, North America, members of Nigerians in the diaspora have protested, calling for his release. Not just that, human rights groups have also raised concerns about due process and long detention. There have been statements, there have been petitions and legal arguments made outside Nigeria, but despite all that pressure, the situation remains the same. The attention is global. The solution, however, is still local and remains unresolved. Let's take you down to segment 5. Just to remind you, this is LadeyNews. We are dissecting the Nnamdi Kanu's case today. In segment 5, we are looking at the impact of Nnamdi Kanu's case on the Southeast. While legal and political battles continue, every day people in the Southeast are feeling the effects. There have been periodic shutdowns, heightened security presence, and not just that, fear, economic disruptions, businesses suffer, movement is restricted, tensions remain high, and many residents believe that the uncertainty surrounding Kanu's detention continues to fuel anger, fear, and instability in the region. Still stay tuned with us as we move to segment 6, why this issue won't go away. I know you want to hear that. So why hasn't the government found a way out? Experts point to a few reasons. Now, deep mistrust between the government and IPOB supporters, fear that releasing Nnamdi Kanu could encourage more separatist actions, concerns that keeping him in detention also fuels resentment. Now, political calculations and fears are appearing weak, or simply put, every option carries risk, and leaders appear unwilling to take that risk. And to the final segment now, what could happen exactly, or what could happen next? I know you may be wondering what would happen next. Oh yes, let's tell you that. There are several possible outcomes. The case continues in court for years. Kanu is released under strict conditions. Political dialogue leads to a compromise, or international pressure eventually forces a decision. For now, here it is. No clear direction has been announced. At this point, the case of Nnamdi Kanu is no longer just about one individual. It has become a big test of Nigerians' justice system, respect for the rule of law, and ability to manage dissent without deepening division. Until these questions are addressed, this particular controversy is unlikely to fade.